Oh, I've zoomed this way out, by the way, for our morning meeting. Yeah. You can zoom it in a little bit if you want.
Oh, yeah, I zoomed in.
Oh, did you? Okay.
You're just not used to you being that big on screen. I removed all of this.
Oh, that's what's going on. Gotcha. Check.
Where's the live notification? There it is.
Did it show up?
Yep. You're in.
Well, hello and howdy. Welcome to this wonderful Friday afternoon edition of Whiskey Friday. It is Friday, and I have whiskey, so therefore it is Whiskey Friday. Even some days when I don't have whiskey, it's Whiskey Friday. But even when not Friday, but you know, all good. Just let the track chat know what's up. What's going on, 3-pedal 911? How we doing, brother? Little sip of the Willet Ted Hatton. Essentially whiskey with some bitters. Very delicious. We got some good ones for you this Friday. We're going to talk about these fun things. No, it is not a dog chew toy and not something else you dirty rascals might be thinking of. 'Cause that's nasty. Don't put things in places that you wouldn't want them to stay. Say it that way. I took a really dark turn really quick. It's funny, everybody saw that. Go ahead and share that one in the track chat. Justin, they saw that picture, and they're like, "Oh, that looks exactly like Paul's videos." It's pretty funny. What's going on, Justin? How we doing, brother? Team had a good week. We had a track day on Wednesday. Yeah, Justin knows all about things getting shoved in places they shouldn't be. That's crazy. He's an ER doc, so I don't want to know those stories, Justin. You terrify me, honestly. The pictures of all the broken hands after July 4th was enough. It's like, no, like exploded fingers and shit everywhere. It's like, I have a pretty strong stomach when it comes to body parts and blood and gore, but I don't know that I could do that job. But I suppose at some point it's all the same shit, so. What's up? What? Oh, we're having a technical difficulty question, but back from the Grand Canyon. Well, I'm glad you got away before all of California and Nevada and Arizona are on fire. So, yeah, those are the PG-13 rated picks. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that because, yeah, no thanks. So, let's see. We went to the track on Wednesday. Let me back up a second. So as of last week, where we left off with you last week is our car was at our 3RS, our 992 3RS was still up in Bellingham at Roger Jobs. And they were getting glass and they were going to get it all done for us on Monday of this week. And we would be able to get the car delivered on Tuesday about mid-morning. Well, kind of didn't work out like that. We ended up having to send a Hail Mary, and that was Charles and his lovely bride went up and drove to Bellingham, which from here is about, I don't know, about 3 hours, Justin? 2.5, 3 hours. Picked up the car, drove it home. Charles got home about 10 o'clock at night. He came in the morning of the track day that we were going to test the car. And he got all of the suspension parts that we've been wanting to test. Well, hello, Mr. Philip Schmidt. Philip is a shill account. He is an employee, just to let everybody know. But he's going to be doing meme entertainment for us. If you can you post memes in the comments on YouTube? I don't think so either. But anyway, so the boys at Roger Jobs did a phenomenal job. They got the car to us. The car was picked up. We got it. It ran great. No more oil leak. Super happy. Charles was able to get all the bits and baubles on it. We put a super extreme alignment on it because we're trying to bookend where we want the car to be. The inner tire temps were a little hotter than we wanted. We know why. So we're going to back it off a little bit. Couple interesting things with our car. The front subframe is shifted to one side so much that we have to put a different amount of shims on one side than the other by an extreme amount just to make the camber the same on both sides. Come on, Porsche, really? So now we're going to have to take the car apart and see if we can shift the subframe over. The subframe is the thing that's installed in the car from the factory that should never need to be moved. Should never need to be moved. So unfortunately, because of this, some of the parts that and measurements that we took doesn't apply to all 3 RSs. So some of the parts that we have designed may not be necessary. It happens. It's okay. We talked to a couple of our friends, and we don't have many of these bits out in the world yet, so we're getting things dialed in. Some of our friends in Texas at Saga, thank you, Felix, for your help. Thank you, Mike from Black Sheep Racing, for your help. Charles had a great conversation with Mike. They talked for almost an hour about what Mike's seen, what Charles has seen. What's up, Paul? How you doing, brother? Mr. Paul Blake in the house. That's a new one. We haven't seen Mr. Paul Blake in here, but maybe once? We got Mr. Paul Blake's blurry car. I think Justin was looking at some hot girl who was walking by. He was just that fast. He's super fast. So fast. Faster than lightning. So fast. It's crazy. So 1/10. Wow. That's a 1/10. Justin's getting all artistic, trying to get some pretty wall art for us. Because if you'll notice this fine picture in the background, this will be soon to be available from our website. And other pictures like this. These are some shots that Justin took at Rennsport Reunion last year, about a month from now. And this is on canvas, comes pre-framed. I am fucking with it. I'm going to knock it down if I don't be careful. We also have them on metal. And we're going to be loading up the store because we're happy with the quality of these. I think these will look great in anybody's man cave. They're looking for shots of cars. Our cars, other cars. Justin takes lots of pictures of stuff. And the wonderful thing is when Justin takes the picture, it's owned by us because the equipment is ours and all that bit. So, which is dope. It's actually, we don't have to ask Porsche for permission, which is really cool. So, back to the lecture at hand. No, the subframe in the front of the RS is shifted over quite a bit. And yes, Eric B, that's a good question. They didn't have to move the front subframe. They had to remove bits of the rear subframe, but not all of it. So if that makes sense, the rear is kind of pinned to the body. You can get some of that out with the engine carrier. You don't have to take all of it out. But car got back, got an ability to test it. We like where we're headed with the alignment, and it is, I'll say this, it's more than -4 degrees of camber is what we just tested. And we're probably going to land pretty close to that. And Charles had quite a bit of toe out. So probably need a little less because the inside temps were a little hot. So going to dial that back a little bit, try and get it to even up, and then head out again. But car looked pretty stance boy. You got a shot of it where you can really see the camber on it? Like even static in the garage. It was looking pretty stance boy, that's for sure. For those of you who don't know what stance boy is, that's where you roll all the way on the inner corner. So we also have a good shot we'll share here in a second of Ted opposite lock in this same place, which is pretty cool. So we'll let Justin try and find that. Let's talk a little bit about these bad boys. These are front bump rubbers that you might use, for example, at Mosport. If you had a big splitter on your car, like we sell, and there was an extreme compression at the end of a really fast braking zone, so everything, the whole front of the car is loaded, and then goes through a big compression, that's asking a lot of the front power. It's asking a lot from the power of the front shocks to control the front end without having the splitter hit the ground. So we are sending these to our friend Mr. Al Billis. These are actually for the rear of the car, so we're going to try these on the white GT3 at Pacific. Once we have the full aero on the white GT3, we'll come back to the white GT3, which we affectionately call the mouse, because we have the rat and we have the mouse. One's black, one's white. Seems appropriate. Yeah, similar. Turn seven's a little bit harder to deal with. We could try these in your car if you wanted, Paul. They might help, but turn seven's like downhill and really steep onto the bottom. So if you, and especially if you take the crash course where we all like the inside line, that's a little nick on the wear bars. Which surprisingly, we should probably check your wear bars again. You probably need new ones, Paul. Or at least a check on them. What's up, Mr. Black Walter? Kinda. You can kinda see it from that one. Oh, there you go. Yeah, show that. Yeah, it's serious stance boy on the front, but car seemed to like it. It drove nice until I got some weird ass like clickety clackety bullshit. Everybody, car got there at noon. We'll come back to this. Car got there at noon. Little before noon. Ted takes it out. Here's the wheel weights coming off one of the wheels. Comes in. Oh God, what's that? We take the whole front of the car apart. Look at everything. It's fine. He goes out after lunch at 1. Then we send our buddy Roger Bong. Roger went out, and his brother was in town. Maybe spilling the beans. I don't know, but Roger might not be staying in the Pacific Northwest. He is looking for a job to move down with family in Southern California. He has sold his cup car. Some other things might be for sale as well. So I wanted to get Roger out at least one more time to a track day, and I'm glad your brake scoop still exists, brother. But Paul's pretty awesome. He fucking sends it in his GT3, and he'll have a big off and just shake it off and be like, whatever, big off, meaning like 4 wheels off, out in the dirt, drive back on, come back in, check the tires, fuck it. He's good. All full send, which is awesome. So anyway, I knew that an invitation to drive the new 3RS would get Bong out to the track at least one more time, because I expect that maybe 6-9 months we won't have him in the Northwest anymore, which would be sad. I'm gonna miss my boy. So, and it's not so far. I mean, hell, the most time I've ever spent with the guy was at Rensport Reunion, so it's fine. Kind of bouncing all over the place. Go ahead and share. Yeah, there you go. There's a picture. That's a lot of damn camber on that front tire. So yeah, I'd heard from that. I wasn't going to spill that, Paul, but yes, I heard a certain silver Honda might also be for sale, potentially sold. So it's going to have changed hands a couple times. We all moved through our mid-engine phase pretty quickly around these parts. My 458's gone. His mid-engine Honda might be gone. We'll see what happens next. I think Roger's making a war chest to get a 3RS. That's my call. He says it's for the market. When it crashes through the election, they can ride the S&P 500 up on the upswing. We'll see. So It might already be sold. Yeah. Maybe. Uh-oh. Did Oris buy it? Does Oris know something we don't know? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I will never sell the Esprit shit. Except when somebody offers me a lot of money for it. Then I might. So, lots of camera on the front of the RS. We got some things to figure out. Do we have the spot in my lap where the noise happens? Can we kind of cue that up on YouTube and fast forward it? I'll give you a second. I'll riff for a minute. So, Roger takes the car out at the 2 o'clock session. I finally get in the car at 3 o'clock. It's got a quarter tank of gas. Typical. Even around here, I'll get in the car, no gas. So, and I take it out and I get one lap. Tires are like 25 PSI because it sat for too long. It's like, okay, I got some heat in the tires, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to work up, trying to feel what the new setup feels like, blah, 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 blah. And then I hear this freaking noise. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So, spot in your lap, eh? So, yeah, you can turn this up. Those of you guys who are listening. Yeah, let's make sure you guys can hear it. Un segundo. Yeah, there we go. I can hear it. Can't see it, though. You guys hear that? All right, let's send that. See if you guys can hear it. You can even hear me say, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, what the shit? What the fuck is flapping around here inside the car? I seriously thought there was a belt hanging outside of the car is what it sounded like. Flap, 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 flap. One theory is that I picked up some schmutz on the Apex when I went through over the curbs of 5, and that threw it off. But I normally know what that sounds like, and it was kind of coming from the wrong side of the car. It felt like it was that side of the car. So it sounds like our phone call on Wednesday. It does, Cliff. Welcome, brother. So we got Cliff from the wrong side of the country from Driver's Choice joining us. Welcome, Cliff. Yeah, the wind and everything else, but yes. We also had some spectacular almost acrobatics going on from our good friend Novin, which I think we like bikes in and around here, so we're gonna get this queued up. We'll share this with you guys. Novin's gonna hate me, but it's all good. It wasn't his bike, so he doesn't know it very well. This is Ed Assed's super sweet specialized electric mountain bike awesomeness, but Novin was trying to do some wheelies, so we caught it on film. It's a big bike. It's probably a bit big for Novin. Ed's a big dude. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Yeah, we're big into bikes, a few of us. We got another chat group for all the crazy bike guys. It's a good attempt, brother. It's a good attempt. It's a water bottle. Well, it's hard to find that balance. That's perfect. Just stop it right there. Leave it. Money. Making him look like a rock star right there. Solid. So we have fun at our track days. I love our little community. We have a lot of fun. We give each other a lot of shit. So, we learn a lot from each other, which is helpful. It's helpful. You know, we don't always have to have the answers at the track, which is great. So, and seriously, Paul, if you want to try these, we're welcome to do that. If you want to throw these in the car, see if they help at turn 7 coming down the hill. It'd be interesting to try. These are by a company called Professional Awesome, which is a great name for a company, quite frankly, in my humble opinion. And these would be for the rear. They're a little bit smaller. Hey, Novin joined. What's up, man? We think the noise was coming from, so I'm bouncing around all over the place, but we have new wind deflectors at some point coming. The carbon guys that we are getting them from, these are from Europe. The small family is going through a divorce now, so we're not sure when our carbon parts might come from them. We're letting our guy in Croatia deal with that because it's different. Totally, right? Exactly. I love that you're letting us drive with the windows up. It is very much appreciated. It's very much appreciated, especially all this riffraff with this 3RS spaceship thing that'll break the rear window if we have the windows down. Stupid. So we thought the noise that I was hearing might be coming from the wing, and we did a little test when we came back. We hit it with my fist to see if it So as the wing wants to start to go a little bit like this, just rattle back and forth, that rattle is going to get translated into the car, because all on the RS, it's just held together with cotter pins and E-clips. And so there's a bit of play in there. What's weird is the passenger side has a lot more play than the driver's side. So us being who we are, we're like, ooh, problem. Let's solve it. So I've been looking at bearings and all kinds of bullshit to see if there's a way to make it better. But yeah, we'll not dive too far down the rabbit hole. I also owe some of these videos to Elliot at Roger Jobs, because he was ready to send the car back down here. The truck and trailer back down here, pick up the car, take it back up there and figure it out. And I'm like, we kind of need the car for our own shit, so let's not do that. Yeah, I know, right, Orist? It's like, come on. It's like rattle, 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 rattle. Hey, you spent $500,000 on this plastic hunk of crap in the back. But I'm sure it's fine. Oh, and your front subframe is a 1/4 inch off to one side. It's fine. Fucking send it. It's cool. We got your money. We don't care. So. Justin. I keep reading these comments, and they're definitely not PG-13 comments. There's certainly more in there than that. So, yeah, literally. I mean, Ted's hanging it out, correcting the car. You see that there is the front tires are not pointed in the direction of travel for this picture. Should look a little bit more like that at that point. That's our good friend, Mr. John McClellan, in his fantastic Lab Rat. That's a great shot, all leaned over hard. Them big fatty tires. Go, John. Get it. So, that's Ted. There was somebody. Oh, there you go. That's great sequence. Whoop. Hello. Hold on, baby. Catch that. Thank you. That's a really not great place to be hanging it out, because there's a concrete barrier at the end of this corner. So, but I trust Ted with anything he does in a car, because period. The boy's fucking dialed in. Yeah, which is great. And to get that car to do that, you're sending it pretty hard. Yeah, it's like slipping, rear end slipping right there. So amateurs, totally. Paul, so you got to mismatch your tires front to rear like Mr. Paul Blake if you really want to send it. That's what you got to do. So, yeah, it was fun as hell. Not for me, not in that car. I'd do it in 6. We got a big, long, round carousel. I'd do it there. I would not do it in that corner. No, thank you. Oh, you're gonna get all the way around to where he's in the car and you can see the correction? Yeah, so we actually have in-car as well. We found the lap that Ted did this on. He was held up. It was an out lap. Tires are probably a little cold because we were measuring stuff when he came in. And somebody was exiting the track. I didn't notice if they had their turn signal on. So he's coming down the hill. Little correction, you just got to look at the in-car part, and it's like, oh, yep, okay, we're good. Away you go. The fact that Justin, I got to give him kudos, the fact that he was able to find that 20th, 30th of a second where he was actually correcting. Oh, Paul, I will let Ted say that, or I'll let him know you said that. That's a hell of a compliment, brother. That's a hell of a compliment. And I do not disagree, because honestly, I'll give you guys a little insider tip. We just dropped our YouTube video earlier this week that's playing exceedingly well. And the gist of the YouTube video is we can take your car and make it as fast as GT3 RS. The new GT3 RS. And so we have Ted on our coast at the Ridge doing it. And
my name is
got to get through the ads on our video, which we are now monetized on YouTube. So thank you very much, y'all. Appreciate it. We made an entire $5 so far. Fuck yeah. So Ted, having never been to Road Atlanta, was put in a position to learn very quickly because Lee Keen's there, and that's well, that's a hell of a statement, brother. I appreciate that. He's at Road Atlanta, and within a half a day, not even a half a day, Ted was within half a second of Lee Keen's laps in a 3RS in our own car. So, and he didn't start that far off. Honestly, he started like 1.5 seconds, and by the afternoon in 85-degree heat, he was within 9/10 of Lee Keen, which, I mean, that's Lee's home track, which is pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So YouTube video is playing really well. For some reason, YouTube picked it up and is running with it. It's like, I don't know, 10, 15 times more popular than any other video we've done to date. Justin, something like that? Fair, because we weren't monetized. Yeah. So Justin was saying this is the first video that we've been able to push out into the world. And yes, Cliff, so this is funny. Seth took our GT3 RS Lab Rat out because when he was in town, and he put some laps down, and that was fantastic of him. And he did really, really, really well. I think he did high 140s, like 140.8, 140.9, something like that. That sounds about right. And then Ted got back from vacation. We got another chance to get the car out, and Ted got a 140.1, something like that. And Seth just essentially said, he just texted show off when he saw it. He was just like, show off, asshole. Why you got to beat me like that? So we're surrounded. We're very lucky to have a lot of really great drivers as friends of Dundon that like running our parts, that like giving us meaningful feedback. And we take all of that into consideration when we're doing this. And we feel very, very lucky and thankful that Ted took the offer to make less money with us than what he was doing so that he could play with cars a little bit more. So I don't think he always makes less money, but he does a phenomenal job for us. He's a great steward of the brand. And it's a lot easier to get a pro's feedback than having Jamie drive everything all the time, because I'm decent. I'm not a fucking pro. So this is Mr. Seth Thomas in his Lab Rat at Road Atlanta, his home track. He literally, he's like a one-take driver. I think he was out there for like an out lap, the hot lap, and cool down lap. That's it. He's like, yeah, there you go. One lap, done. I don't need to do more. I know this track. I know what I can do in this car. We're done. So he went almost 4 seconds faster than a stock car in his Lab Rat. And he was only like 2/10 off, 3/10 off. I forget where we landed with, 3/10 off Ted in the 992 GT3 RS. So really stoked about this. And it's more about, we kind of planned this Whiskey Friday to really kind of do a deep dive into this video, but I don't know how many of you have seen it. How many of you guys have seen the video yet? If you haven't seen it, take 5-6 minutes, go watch that video and come back and give us your thoughts or any questions that you have, because I'd love to answer them for you. One of the questions that was on one of the Facebook groups was, the GT4 RS is on Supercar 3Rs, which is an unfair advantage over the 992 GT3 RS on the OEM tires. And I was like, interesting guess, interesting assumption. The Super Sport Rs on the GT3 RS are treadwear 80 tires. The Supercar 3Rs on the GT4 RS are treadwear 100 tires. So, and so by Goodyear's own admission, the Super Sport Rs are faster than the Supercar 3Rs. So, and we like the Supercar 3Rs because they're more, we'll say they're more efficient than Cup 2Rs, because Cup 2Rs are really only faster than Cup 2s on like the first session of the first day, and then they kind of just die. So, and I agree, Paul, treadwear rating is lies. I do agree. But within the same manufacturer, they're, I would say, relevant, a little relevant. I mean, at some point, we got to pick something as a litmus test. But, and for those that said, hey, running the 991.2 GT3 RS on Cup 2s and then running Seth's car on Cup 2Rs was unfair, you should probably phone Porsche and Manti about their lap record attempts then, and not take them for what they are, because that's exactly what they're doing. So, what's up, Mr. Aaron Marks? Welcome, brother. The Supercar 3Rs are amazing, and the Super Sport Rs are really good. I'm having a hard time finding a better tire for the 3RS, honestly. We're considering going to Trofeos, but not the RS, just the R, just to see, because we think we can fit a 295 in the front of the 3RS, because, you know, if 275 is good, 295's got to be better. So we'll see. So So yeah, if you haven't seen the video, go take a look at it. We're going to continue to do these data-rich comparisons as much as we can. One of our customers at Coda is building a GT3 RS Lab Rat. His name's Barry Miner. What is his YouTube channel? We put it up last week. He can find it. So Justin's going to find it. We'll put it up in here. And Randy Popes drove his car stock with an alignment at Coda. I think he went 218, something like that. I mean, Randy's going to post a good time at Coda. He's a good driver for sure. But he's doing aero and MCS and headers and a muffler. So we know the car's gonna be a lot easier to drive. And Randy got out of the car and he's like, car's got a lot of tendencies to want to kind of buck and not do great things. So if that was easier, ignition on the left, really? It was like track time, something. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll find it. We'll share it. Go take a look at it. We'll have another chance for that. 218.9. Thank you, Larry. So almost 219. We're as low as 214. Correct me if I'm wrong, Larry. That was Cameron in what the fuck is his name? Help me, Larry. Blue GT3, 992 GT3. I forget his name. Anyway, it's track time. Yeah, that's him. Ray Mort, thank you. Yes, Ray Mort. Ray Mort's 992 GT3 currently holds the Lab Rat record at Coda of 214, but that was on Pirelli DH slicks. So, yeah, I know. We love the fact that the Supercar 3R was developed for a big, heavy Camaro. So thank you, Felix. Yes, welcome, brother. I was blanking there. Mr. Ray Mort currently has the Lab Rat record at Coda. Well-driven lap, really dialed car. So I know that a number of y'all will go faster than that at some point. But 214 at Coda is fucking hauling the mail. That's serious. Yeah, and it was a manual. That's literally fucking hauling the mail. So, the whole idea with what we're trying to do and the monologue that I gave at the end of our video, yes, the driver was indeed Cameron Lawrence, who's a fantastic driver, is to give GT buyers, GT car owners who are looking to improve the performance of their GT car options. You don't have to buy a Manti package just because your Porsche dealer is only offering that, and the Porsche tech says, yes, I know all about track alignments and how to set things up, but they've never actually driven a car on track. Well, that's a question. You should probably think about that a little bit. And you don't have to buy all of it at once to be able to increment your way through your own progression, because when you start driving on track, it is a progression. You know, you probably shouldn't go buy the new Z06, or sorry, what the fuck is it called? Z07? The twin turbo 1,000 horsepower Camaro Super C8 thing as your first track car. Please don't buy that, because no one's going to right seat with you and you're probably going to die. So don't do that. 15.4. Thank you. Oh, you're 15.4? Nice. Yeah, we can get that deeper. And we already know we talked to ZR1. Thank you, Oris. God, I need to have another whiskey because my brain isn't working. Needs to get on an even number of whiskeys. You guys have that problem? It's like you're on an odd number of drinks, your brain doesn't work. You get on an even number of drinks, it works. Maybe I drink too much, but you know, that's preponderance for another day. Yeah, 1 cup for each side of the brain. Exactly. So yes, please don't buy a ZR1. We were talking about this in the track chat. Guys buy Turbo S, go to the track, can't turn, can't brake, but they can go real fast. Even if they're really nice guys, they're trying hard. Just learn on something slower. The cars are really, really good. The traction control is really good. The driver aids are exceedingly good. Don't necessarily rely on them. Oh, dude, 1 single session? Yeah, you've got a lot more coming. And Hoosiers, so I'll ask the question to the community. Should we develop our 3RS on Hoosiers? Should we develop it on street tires as a demonstration of how fast it can go on tires you can drive on the street versus got to trailer it to the track on Hoosiers? I have driven Hoosiers on the street. I don't recommend it, but you can do it. You find nails and all kinds of shit on the inner carcass by the time you're done. So not ideal, but. Oh shit. I didn't know he went 214.0. Who drove? That's smoking. Was that you in it, Felix? Eric B, why not both? It's because it's fucking expensive. That's why. All that track time to do a setup for Hoosiers and a setup for street tires. I'd love to be able to do that and the time and the track time to do it. We kind of got to pick a path. So right on, Felix. Nicely done, dude. That's fast as shit. And 2RS, I would expect. I would have loved to have gotten him a splitter and MCS. I bet you went 210 with all of that. Easy. Unfortunately, if he's still got the car, we need to make that happen because he's had MCS and decided it for something else and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, bring it, Paul. What do you got? Paul's got a question about the 3RS. I can do my best to answer it. I will see what I can come up with. Queue up some lab mouse stuff. That's in social. I didn't send it to you. Shit. I got distracted. We'll do that next time. It's all right. So Hoosiers would mean 19s. Hoosier actually has tire sizes that would work that aren't a compromise on a 3RS. So we could do a 295 30. We could probably do, I think they have a 345 rear in a 19 on a Hoosier. So we actually have tire widths that work on a 3RS. And I know SP Motorsports has been setting track records with their setup. Hoosier laden 19-inch car, 3RS, driven by a super hot shoe in NorCal. I forget his name. It was like, I'm making it up. It's like a 124 or 125 at Laguna, something like that. It was like an absurd fucking thing. Ah, okay. So, yes. So, if you leave the traction control 100% on, yes, this is a thing. So, Paul, this is a thing because they made the traction control configurable and the ESC configurable between the 3RS and the GT3 and the RS. The GT3 is going to have to be a little less intrusive because it really only has on and off. The RS has really, really, really on. And then you have the ability to turn it to dynamic and turn the traction control way down, like way down. Like I run it on 2 out of, Aaron, help me out. Is it like 5? Something like that. I forget what the actual dials are. You're dynamic in 3. Yeah, that feels about right. We did this at Road Atlanta, and of course I jumped in the car. Yeah, Justin with the bang on the dials. Nicely done. I jumped in the car after Lee Keen was in the car, and he had everything turned off, and I didn't know that when you turn it off and turn it back on, it remembers. So I drove the car at Road Atlanta, my first time out in the 3RS, with 100% no fucking nannies. So I was proud of myself that I only spun it in the part that I was getting greedy at, which is turn 7 at Road Atlanta. I still remember it. I had Wyatt from MCS in the car, giving him a lap around Road Atlanta, and we did a full 180-degree spin at turn 7, which luckily is the slowest fucking turn on the track. But yes, Paul, next time we're at the track together, I will walk you through the dials, and you're happy to take my car for a lap so that you can get familiarized with it, because you'll probably not the last one that you're going to drive, would be my guess, because they keep trying to produce as many of them as they can. It is the ESCTC. So you just got to hit the button when the car's in track mode. So you take the dial, upper right dial. Yeah, you know, but that's no different than your $270,000-$80,000 car. It's almost the same shit. So turn the upper white dial all the way to the track. Then you can take the yellow dial and you can mess with it and you can kind of see. I would pull it back to, for you, honestly, like 2 is probably good. It only inserts itself when you're really out of shape. And other than that, it stays the fuck out of the way. If you want to hoon it around and do your thing, that's fine. So the other thing with the car is figuring out all the dials and how to get things going. We actually like to run our car with a lot of rebound, like +4 for the most part. Ted and I go back and forth with this because he likes it maybe a little less, but curiously, I'll ask the question. Felix, more for you than anybody else. Ted's struggling with ice mode in our 3RS because he's got a smack it kind of kill a bug level brake application, pro driver shit. I don't. We have PFC 11s in the car, and he was still getting ice mode with the PFC 11s. We thought it was a differential issue from front to rear on different compounds having different friction coefficients, easy for me to say. And it doesn't appear that to be the case. We were running pretty extreme camber in the front, so that could be part of it because of not as much tire under braking in the front versus the rear, a little bit. But PFC 11 and every other car that we've run hasn't had the issue. I don't have ice mode at all in the car, but it does make Ted a little less than as quick as he could be because he's having to manage the brakes in it. So any of you GT3 RS owners experiencing that phenomenon, please let me know the specifics of what you're doing with your brake pads. If you're a pro, I mean, because if you're like me and you're just a high amateur, then you're just a high amateur like me and you have no problem. So commenting I have no problems isn't going to help. Anybody who has had a problem, please let us know. Iceman, that's not bad. New nickname for Ted. Paul's Maverick, yeah. That's not a bad comparison, honestly. That's not a bad comparison. Ted's like, finger out cappuccino Iceman, ain't no thing. Paul's like, hair on fire, let's dig it. I'm going. Yeah. I am dangerous Iceman. Yeah, Ealing, that's a good interesting. So Felix is having it in the 4RS. We have not had it in the 4RS, but we had PFCs on the 4RS. We haven't changed the brakes in the 3RS. Ealing, it's mainly under all the heavy areas of braking in the car. So coming from 100 miles an hour and down into areas that you would be like really like 6. Yeah, I agreed. Oh, you got a fancy 3RS over there. AP with custom-made RE10s. All right. So you're pushing me into putting PFCs on the car. I didn't want to, but maybe we need to. Because I actually think Porsche stock brakes are really fucking good most of the time. But every car we drive with PFCs on it, it's just better. It's really just better. And so, all right. So shall it be noted, we need to get some PFCs for the 3RS, and we'll make that happen as part of its upgrade package. And then we can put 19s on it without too much worry, and on we go. 100% Ealing. There are areas where I've experienced ice mode. Typically, it's in, like, there's an area of our local track coming into turn 13, going down the hill, where, is that 13? No. 12, 13, 14. Going down the hill. Yeah, I thought that Alcon kit was only for our friends at SP Motorsports. If it is available, Felix, hit me up with some deets. I'd be interested in talking to them about it. So, really, I honestly like the PFC stuff because they use it on cup cars. That said, the Alcon brakes are also very good and also used on GT3Rs and RSRs and a number of others, and they're very light, so it'd be interesting to take a little counterpoint. So, oh, you want to run Bong's lap before we get too far afield? Ah, right on. Okay, so he's just throwing up some color commentary while we're going. So, Alcon would be interesting. All the brake companies do a great job. The one that I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but the experiences that we've had with AP and their rotors have not been stellar, and that's why we stay away from them. Because quite frankly, we don't have the video for our new 991.1 GT3, which I will share. It has 52,000 miles, and we took it to the track, and it did not blow up. So, success. And I was able to get it to within a second of my man, Ted Anthony Jr., which I was really stoked about. So, this is, of course, after our friend Robin from Girodisc came over and was staring at the front rotors on the car, and he's like, oh, that's a radial crack going through that front disc, which were APs, APJ hooks. So that's an unfortunate thing. I don't want to throw any company under the bus, but we've seen it a lot with cracked J-hook rotors at our local track days. So Girodisc rotors do not have the same problem. PFC rotors do not have the same problem. So as long as we can get good rotors that can take the heat and don't like explode, then we're golden. So yes, very interested to understand. And Robin is a monster driver, and I love this. I don't know that everybody heard this. Robin comes over, we're in the paddock, we're in the garage. He comes up to Ted and he's like, Robin recently started racing Spec E46. Him and his dad bought a Spec E46, and he's doing really well. He's placing. I think he podiumed his first race, which kudos to you, Robin. I know, always knew you were punching above your pay grade in your 997, so to speak. He's like, Ted, how'd you deal with going from racing to going back to DEs? Because I'm bored out of my mind. Just bored out of my mind. So and Ted's like, well, yeah, that crack pipe of racing cannot be replaced because it's not about you against you. It's you against everybody else and fighting for position. And, you know, there's defense and offense and all this other shit going on. Not just I have an open track in front of me. I'm just going to try and send it with the fastest lap I can. It's not qualifying. It's actually racing. So I have a funny feeling that we're going to see Robin potentially less and less at DEs and more going racing. And kudos to you, Robin. I wish I had the time because I would fall down that same rabbit hole. I think it'd be great. Truck, trailer, racing, constant maintenance, blah, 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 all that shit. I could get into it, but I started a company instead. So, you know, as you did, but for different reasons. The interesting, Felix, I'll keep that on the download. The RE10 pads, this is over Ferodo, I assume, for the AP kit. Interesting. That's very curious because we've seen that taper on the AP kits. We haven't seen it on the PFCs. We thought it was caliper stiffness was the thing. That's very curious that the RE10 pads got it across the line. Maybe it's the backing plate on the RE10s. Maybe a little thicker. Maybe a little, just postulating, just riffing over here. Engineers riffing together. So, what are we missing, brother? We had a couple different topics we were talking about. Oh, yeah, let's talk about our boy Mark Savino. So we have lab rats all over the world, which is really fun. So Mark Savino is in the Philippines, and he has a 991.2 GT3 RS, full lab rat, MCS, Aero, all this bit. Really, really pretty car. It's a pearl red wrapped. I'm not sure what the color of the car is underneath, but he won. He keeps bringing home trophies. I don't know if this is clubbing baby seals in Philippines or not, but there are other cars out there that are not naturally aspirated, and he keeps dragging trophies home, which is awesome. He just bought some more Go Fast goodies. He's going to have catless cup headers and a crack pipe on this car. They're going to hear it for 10 miles in any direction, which is great if you can. If you can get away with that, then hell yeah, do that. Car looks the bomb. He drives it well, and good for him. Good for him. I'm very, very stoked to help these guys all around the world go fast. So we've got the Philippines, South Africa. What's crazy is all the cars out there that are lab rats almost, are they all red? Seth? Yeah, Amit. Amit's 992's red. Doug's red. South African's red. Philip from South Africa was Ray. He never had a full lab rat. The international lab rats are all red. Interesting. I think we got a couple others. Nah, that's not true. We've got, in Norway, we've got a silver? Couple of them out there. Fucking A. The one from Nürburgring, red. Jesus, they're all fucking guards red. What is it with guards red guys and modifying their cars? Interesting. Maybe we should change our colors from black and orange to guards red. Seems to be the thing. Our customers are deciding for us. I'm really excited. So Ealing, who has joined us a couple of times here, he has a full lab rat, and he is getting ready for COTA, and he is he is another of my tribe. He is an engine nerd, and he is asking me for L over D and lift over drag and coefficient of drag and a number of things so that he can get his sim set up so that it can predict his best lap time with the arrow on the car, so he can practice, so he can, before the car is actually out at COTA. And I appreciate this. The thing that we're struggling with is giving him all the data to be able to do it accurately, because there's two components to this E-Ling. There's something that there's the numbers. Yeah, kinda. Eric, that's in the ballpark. It's like I have one $500 part from Dundon. It's a lab rat in training. Something like that. So there's two components to going fast on the track. There's the capability of the car, which is what we'll figure out in the sim. And then there's the confidence of the driver to be able to trust that the car has them. The second thing is a little bit harder to get from ones and zeros. Just say it that way. And it's a thing that, like, Paul and I agree on. Driving a sim is way fucking harder than driving a real car. Driving a sim is almost annoyingly difficult and defeating versus driving a real car, where you can get all the sensations and the noises, and you got all the sensory input telling you what the car is wanting, doing, about to do, et cetera, especially when you spent your whole time driving a real car, and now you're going to jump into a set of screens and a steering wheel giving you feedback that may or may not be accurate depending on how it's set up or whatnot. So you got a lot of setup and feedback. I'm over here doing the Italian thing. But is it helpful to learn new tracks? Yes. Is it instructive for getting your eyes to be trained where your ass may not be as capable? I've got an interesting anecdote in that regard. So I was incredibly proud of myself that I went 146.99, but I went 146 in our new 991.1 GT3, which is stock with unknown heat cycles on the Cup 2s. I don't know what the brake pads are on it. We did the fluids. We made it so it was safe. It has no power adders, nothing else. And the car, I felt like I was... Paul will appreciate this. Every car I've driven, most of my driving career, I drive it by memory, by sensory memory. And I can drive a Cup car to a 144. I can drive a stock GT3 RS to a 144. I can drive all of them to a 144 because that's what my body's programmed to what you do in a car. You drive it like this, and those are the things that you do. And you have this G load, and you don't approach it faster, and all this kind of stuff. By driving a number of faster cars fast, like I went 142 in the new GT3 RS, which I was happy about. I've gone 142 in the 4RS. I've gone 140 in the Cup car. My popo sensor, my ass sensor, has been recalibrated for going fast. So driving the 991.1 GT3, I was like, oh, this thing's being a little bit playful. I need to bring it in and give it a little counter steer here. And I need to drive the car, not drive my memory of what I automatically do in a car at this racetrack. And I was within a second of Ted. In the same fucking car, in essentially the same fucking conditions. So that tells me I'm learning something. So I felt pretty fucking chuffed about that. Now, Ted, to give Ted some credit, Robin came and looked at the brakes after my session where I sent it and before Ted's session, and I said, hey, you know, there might be a radial crack in one of those rotors, so you might not want to brake as fast as you normally would. Ted reasonably is probably a second faster than he went because he was being really kind to the car. My brake traces were, speed traces were peak brake, peak brake, peak brake. His were rounded off. Be kind to the brakes. And that's, I mean, honestly, that's just showing what a fucking pro he is. It's kind of crazy that he's like, he can round off his brake traces and still go within a second of me is like maestro level shit. So kudos to you, Ted, to be like, I'm going to take it really kind on this and still make the boss feel like he did something really cool. I didn't want to show him up too bad. So, which is dope. I appreciate that. So I'm really excited to take this 52,000 mile fucking 991.1 and see if we can get it sub 140 at yes, Paul, I completely agree with that. The reflexes and the vision and the speed of your vision to see what the fuck is happening has happened from driving all these really fast cars and I'll say being able to keep up with them. And driving a slightly slower car, it was really fun. It was really super fun driving that 991.1, knowing that I could just like be digital with the throttle, all the gas, go. I know you're slow. It's fine. I'll manage it. Off we go. Super fucking fun. And to take a car that was 10 years ago, the epitome of as fast as you could go on a track in a street car and kind of grab it by the scruff and just kind of make it do my bidding was really fucking cool. That was really cool. I'm excited to get Pumpkin back on the street in a similar way because I'll be able to drive that one similarly because it's been a long time since I've been in a 997 chassis, even with 450, 460 wheel horsepower, whatever it ends up at, will be really cool. So, all right. I don't think we have much else. We would have put the white cars laps up, but we will do that. We can do that as a post. I think we do that as a little YouTube short. What do you guys think? Yeah? First sessions in the lab mouse. Yeah, we can put that up there. So, do we have anything else? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a good one. We can knock that out, or we can have Kurt knock that out. And big shout out to Kirk Meyer from Meyer Creative. He produced the video of the 992 GT3 RS versus 991.2 3RS Lab Rat, GT4 RS Lab Rat, and he killed it because the way that video has been accepted kind of shows it, and we will continue to go down the line. I know Justin can also kill it, but he is welding GT4 RS mufflers like a motherfucker right now. So, oh, god damn it. Seriously, Felix? Don't tell me that shit. You already had yours fixed. Your sump is leaking again. God damn it. We're going to fix this shit ourselves next time. RTV's going... Felix, literally, loosen the bolts, shove some RTV in there, tighten the shit back up, and send it. This is dumb. This is literally fucking dumb. God damn it. That's just really fucking dumb. It's a fucking gasket, Porsche. Fix your shit. Oh, you guys know that my rear windshield broke, right? We told that last week? All right. So there's some guys that weren't here, but yes. Rear windshield busted and also made out of paper. Ay, ay, ay. Porsche, what are you doing, y'all? Literally, Honda Bond. Literally. That's all I need. I don't disagree. Don't put a gasket in there. Just say you need Honda Bond. Squirt that shit in there. Send it. You're good. Anybody got questions for us before we take it easy? Right? I mean, Felix just got the car back, so. And thank you all for all hanging out with us. This is really special. We started these and we literally have like 2 or 3 people in here commenting, and now we got guys from the East Coast, guys from Texas, guys from our local guys joining us. It's fantastic to have you guys all here. Difference between loud and mini crack. All right, so mini crack's going to drone a bit. You and Cassie like to go on rides. 997.1 GT3, right? I got a special used muffler here that I would love for you to have, Justin. But the tips might stick out a little far. If you're okay with the tip sticking out a little far, hit me up. I'll make you something special. We got a used tie muffler that for your 997 would be right. Like 100% right. Yes. GT3 RS exhaust tips are 3D printed and polished. Yes, they are, Cliff. There's a lot of that. The entire internals of that muffler are 3D printed. The whole thing. It's the GT3 RS muffler is a fucking bitch. And that's why it's taken us 2.5 years to get all the things we wanted to do done with that thing. And honestly, the only way we could do it was with 3D printed metal. So it is a very, very special muffler. And that's why that shit's so expensive. We didn't compromise. We didn't take no for an answer. We just, and honestly, this is kudos to Charles because I was ready to throw in the fucking towel. The tie is a little quieter than a loud muffler, and you will not have any drone. It is the have your cake and eat it too muffler. So let's get you street headers, Justin, for your 997. Let's get you a tie muffler, the used one that we have. Let's get you loud inserts. And that thing's going to be the sweetest fucking thing you've ever heard. Honestly. Yeah, there you go. Partially made. You put it over there. You put it over here. All right. So Justin's got a partially completed 4RS muffler for you to see what parts are 3D printed and which parts aren't. And the entire guts of that muffler are 3D printed. And I'll narrate as we go. So this side, that whole section is 3D printed. You guys can see it, the inlets and all of the bends, the outlets, all of the internals, all of the bends and contours. There's no way you could fabricate that. There are baffles in here for where when the valves are closed versus them open, where the flow comes through and has to find its way back out so that we can keep it relatively drone free. All the internals, so that's when it's open. You can see all the shit in there. All of the gussets, all of the little tabs that you see, those are all 3D printed on the inside where they're coming through. This would be insanely expensive to do as a machined piece. So 3D printing is real. The future literally is now. And what's crazy is a lot of colleges, including where Philip went to college in Montana, are just now getting a metal 3D printer. And they reached out to him and was like, hey, we got this awesome 3D printer. He's like, really? we're selling shit from a metal 3D printer. We're using this commercially. This isn't new. You guys are behind the times. You need to catch the fuck up. Because it's mainstream. We're making shit with 3D printed 347. This isn't 304. This isn't bullshit. 347. It's a great pick. Yeah. So this is, you can see the 3D printed elements by their sheen or lack of sheen. And you can see the tubing elements by their sheen in this. So we're trying to be as pragmatic as we can. We don't want to 3D print the whole fucking thing. Although I did have, for a minute, and the guy quit, I did have a guy at GE with one of their massive 3D printers that was interested in 3D printing our entire freaking lifetime loud muffler out of titanium. Print the whole thing as one unit. Brrr, print the whole, like Star Trek level shit, hit the button, it just like comes out and like appears in front of you. That would have been fucking amazing. But I don't know that we could have afforded a $10 million GE 3D printer, which maybe one day we can because it's really fucking cool. But yeah, we'll move on from that. The engineer and Jamie and the cool, I want that guy and Jamie and the pragmatic businessman that has to pay the bills, Jamie, are at odds with one another quite often. Quite often. So anyway, hopefully, Cliff, that gives you a little sense of what's involved in the 4RS muffler, why it took us so long to be able to do that, and how we get it to both be drone free, create power with a very shortened secondary length, and sound the business. There you go. This is kind of one of our ethos. That's my man Dougie. Every car should sound distinct. Distinct. There we go. Distinct. We'll get that last syllable out. The GT3 RS Inkenhell should sound like a turbo. The Caymans should sound like a Cayman. They're like the angry stepbrother that's like, fuck you, bro, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Fuck you. Even the GT3 RS is still an angry stepbrother, which is really fucked up that we have to say that because Porsche fucked them. So, interesting. Oris laying down some knowledge. He worked for Trump, not Trump, Trump from Germany, and he knows all the competitors. From South Dakota? They do something in South Dakota? Really? That's curious. RPM Innovations. We must discuss this. The cars should sound different. If you wanted a GT3 RS or a GT4 to sound like a GT3, then fucking buy a GT3 and shut the fuck up. And quite frankly, if you want your GT3 to sound like a 1990s Formula One car, fuck off. It's impossible. The car needs to go buy a Ducati fucking sport bike. You'll have a better chance. We can't make them rev to 14,000 RPM. So no, not going to happen. So interesting. You sold them a laser for one of their printers. Everybody's got the And Larry, we still have your future new exhaust here in the shop, but we have to test it on Racer on Rails Club Sport first. So they print whole rocket cones? Jesus. Probably. Because labor in South Dakota is probably cheaper than in Seattle. Interesting. Yeah. And it's important for each car to have a signature. And the thing with the 4RS that we were really trying to do is it needs to sound like it's got a little middle finger hanging out. Fuck you, GT3 RS. I'm coming for you. And it can. It can. We've already shown it. It's within tenths. With the same driver on the same track, hanging that middle finger out. Suck it. I'm coming for you. So, super excited to see what Barry does. And I know, Felix, you're going to get a chance to drive Barry's car, hopefully before Randy does, so that you can kind of show Randy what's up. So Ted is coming to Coda when Randy is going to be driving Barry's car. I'm doing good. I'm remembering all the names in the right order at the right time. Charles, maybe. Charles is going to have to go back east. Oh, it's laser. Okay. It's not powder. It's filler rod laser metal deposition, which I don't think these parts could be made that way. Honestly, they wouldn't support themselves. They need the powder. They need the powder bed to support them. So, but either way, brother, I am happy to get more contacts. There might be something else we need that they might have some excess time, which would be dope. And I love that all my engineer buddies and all my industry buddies that do other shit are willing to help us out, which is fucking fantastic. So, what else we got? Anybody got some questions for us before we tag off? We are drinking Willet from Costco tonight. This is very tasty. You guys can't see this. Still can't see it. Here, put it on this table. Oh, there we go. Sponsored by Willet. I wish. Jesus Christ. This is a bottle from Costco, but Willet has been in the catalog for a minute. This is is this small batch or family reserve? What does it say? Ah, it's a small batch rye. So, are you serious? Justin, no alcohol at the Costco in Maryland. That sucks. So I'm sure Barry will get it done. It's going to happen in September. Ealing's coming in September. I know September is still going to be hot, but it's all right. I think wasn't Super Lap Battle when Cameron went to, I'm already forgetting the number, 215, 214. He was 214 something. 214 something. That was in September, I think. SLB at Coda was in September. I think so. Yeah. Anyway, so what other questions we got? And Justin, send me an email or hit me on Facebook, whatever. I love that I am personal friends with a number of our customers, but it gets really hard to manage because Dundon is larger than Jamie. And when somebody hits me on Facebook, it like disappears because it happens on a Friday after I've been having a few whiskeys and I forget, versus if it happens in the sales at Dundon Motorsports email, I don't forget because I'm maniacal about responding to every single thing that happens in that email address. So if you want to be responded to, send it to sales. If you want to be ignored, potentially, don't take it personally. Send it to Facebook at jamiesmessenger.com, whatever the fuck. I mean, it's not a personal thing. I just don't stay up on it. I don't know. Why are you into pumpkin beer, Justin? What are you, like an Oktoberfest guy? Is that your thing? Dude, that's good. One thing about the 991.1 GT3, the steering wheel fucking sucks. It's horrible. It's like Alcantara that somebody rubbed Crisco in for like 3 years. It's bad. It's gummy. It gives me the heebie-jeebies when I touch it. I'm like, yeah, yucky. I mean, it's like, yuck. And how is it possible they did that to the entire fucking steering wheel? The insides everywhere, all of it. So I was on eBay last night looking at 991.2 GT3 takeoffs and airbags. They're fucking $2,000. I might be pulling a Matt Mormon here shortly and set up a video of me reconditioning this fucking steering wheel. Because $2,000 for a 991.2. I want that smaller steering wheel with the small, that I want that. Don't know that I want to part with $2,000 to do it. Yeah, it's got that bigger airbag and the whole thing, so.
It's Porsche spec. Gotta pay the license. You know it works.
That's technically a club sport wheel, so we just gotta. I just have to be willing to let all you yahoos drive the fucking car without an airbag in the fucking middle. Yeah, you say that until your fucking head smashed in the fucking goddamn steering wheel, and I get a freaking letter from a lawyer. So. Yeah, I know. Your insurance just got started. You're like, I'm good. I'm fine. I got a craniotomy by a steering wheel. It'll be covered. I'm good. Fucking A. Yeah, I know. I know, Justin. The GT4 wheel's really good, but yes. Justin's getting called out by his wife from all the car parts he's buying for his 997. He's like, what the fuck are all these boxes? Why do they keep showing up at the house? You got to send them to a friend, dude. Yeah, well, depending on if your wife's into gardening. So, our buddy John McClellan, who built the full GT3 RS Lab Rat, his wife is very into gardening. And when he gets a thing, she gets a thing. When he gets some parts for his car, she gets a dump truck load full of mulch. Which is great. And now she has a fountain and a waterfall and I think they already have the pond. Yo, they got 2 acres. We need to go visit John's pad because he's got a great garage, a hell of a collection of Porsches. He's a super fucking cool cat. And I know if we were like, literally, so Barry was in town from Texas in Mount Vernon on vacation, wrote me, he's like, hey, I'm thinking about your full Lab Rat package. Can I come down to Dundon? And I was like, well, technically we don't have that car anymore, but my buddy John is a little closer to you than here. Wrote to John, hey John, got this random guy that wants to come down and potentially buy all the parts that are on your car. You okay with him coming and seeing your car? And he's like, fuck yeah, bring it. He let Barry drive the car for an hour. All the back roads up in Woodinville and all the way out in the Cascades. He was like, yeah, fucking send it. John's a super cool cat. So thank you, John. I really appreciate you. So yeah, I'm glad that we both can make cool parts and meet really fucking cool people by doing so. So with that, y'all have a wonderful good night. Yeah, I bet Prime Day killed it. You probably bought that Milwaukee blower with the funky nozzle so you can like blow the car off like Matt Mormon wanted you to buy. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful evening. Anybody has questions, hit us up in the comments. We will respond, and we'll see you next week.